Okay. I don't. I have a few that are here and one that's not me. Doesn't actually remember the date between those. If I was speaking to that, I might, if it's appropriate. And Bob might need to. How long do we get? Okay.
Yeah, no,
We'll cut you off.
yeah.
I have a time, so I should.
Haven't had to gavel anybody yet.
No, sorry.
You see that book in her hand?
But Carol, it might be the first time.
Whenever you're ready, it's
Yeah, if everybody's ready. We're good. Okay. Time is 7:02, November 9th, 2021. Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is hereby in session. First item is roll call.
Commissioner Joanne Roan Cook is absent. Commissioner Stan Baumgartner,
You?
Commissioner Jerry Schwint,
Here.
Chairman Jeff Palmer.
Here. Thank you. All right, next item is approval of agenda.
I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stan Baumgartner,
Yes.
Commissioner Jerry Schwint,
Yes.
Chairman Jeff Palmer.
Yes. All right, tonight's agenda is approved. Next item is approval of the minutes from the meeting held on October 19th, 2021.
I'll make a motion, we approve them as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Roll call.
Commissioner Stan Baumgartner,
Yes.
Commissioner Jerry Schwint,
Yes.
Chairman Jeff Palmer.
Yes. All right. Minutes approved. Okay, next item is the public hearing. Public comment will be taken during the hearing to review and consideration of a plat for Vasquez minor subdivision, which is resolution number 07/2021. So. Not yet.
You have your script.
Yes, I gotta open. I will now open the public hearing on the following application, a minor subdivision plat for Francisco Vasquez located on Johnson Street. Purpose of the hearing is to provide a public forum for all interested parties who wish to comment on an application before the commission. Please sign the roster if you wish to speak. If attending via Zoom, you may raise your hand and you'll be granted access. The procedure for the public hearing will be as follows. First, there'll be a presentation by the town staff. Next, we will have a presentation by the applicant. After this presentation, we will allow people who wish to speak for up to 3 minutes each. Please do not repeat points made by others. It is fine to get up and say, I agree with Mr. Smith's comments. Please direct your comments to the planning and zoning commissioners, not the applicant or town staff. After receiving public comments, we will allow the applicant an opportunity to respond. Next, planning commissioners may ask questions of anyone who testified. I will then close the public hearing and no further testimony or other evidence will be received. The planning commission will discuss the matter and may take some kind of action. Public hearings are recorded for the public record. All testimony must be presented after you give your full name and address. Do we have proper notification?
Yes, we do.
Do any planning commissioners have any disclosures? This includes notifications received via emails or conversations.
And I do.
Yes.
I live within the 300-foot area
Okay.
of property there.
All right. Okay, thank you. Does anybody have an issue with him, with his disclosure? Okay. Hope, please introduce the applicant and provide your staff report.
Long time no see.
Yes.
So this one is a hearing for a consideration for a minor subdivision plat. The Vasquez family owns lots 9 through 12 on block 22 on Johnson Street. This is the particular of Johnson that is not in Kiowa Park. It is the older part of Johnson that is a little bit north and west of the high school. So kind of over by Thomas's ponds back there. The lots range approximately, I put 100 feet on my report. That is not the case.
I was gonna ask about that.
Right? I'm just now seeing that. Basically, they're about 25 foot wide by 120 or 115 foot long. So altogether, individually, they do not meet the minimum requirement for land development code to build on. The minimum requirement for residential to go in is 8,750 square foot. But if we combine all of the lots together and merge them into one lot, then this particular area would qualify for the minimum requirement to build a residential, whether it's R1 or R2. R1 being single family, R2 being multifamily. The reason why we cannot, because we can also consider doing a lot merger in the land development code, we're allowed to do this. However, the land development code is also pretty specific that it has to be 3 or less lots in order to do a lot merger. If we were able to do a lot merger, you guys would not be reviewing it. We could do it in-house. But because they own 4 lots, it has to go through a minor subdivision plat to make it one lot, and has to be reviewed by the planning commissioners and then final approved by the Board of Trustees. That's basically what this particular request is for. It's just basically to combine all the lots together so that they have the minimum requirement, meet the minimum requirement for construction. Does the commissioners have any questions for me?
So his plan is to do a duplex.
So yes, on the agenda, there is a second agenda item for a separate hearing for a special review. And yes, they do wish to seek out doing a duplex. However, because it is a special review on a separate hearing, it is not something to be considered for this particular hearing. All we're considering right now is just merging the lots.
The reason I'm asking is that's my intention of his merger of lots, whether or not he would do a single family dwelling on those lots, or if he wanted to do
They
something.
have the option when you come to the next hearing, that if the commissioners do not recommend, the duplex that they're looking at, then there is a potential that they could revert back and put a single family home. But at least they would not have to redo the plat.
Mhm.
The land would already be merged together so that they could move forward with one or the other.
Okay. It's the only question I had. You got anything? Okay, thanks, Hope. Is the applicant here?
The applicant is not present.
Okay. All right, so we'll pass the applicant since he's not here. Do any commissioners have questions? We got to that one. I will now open the public comment of the public hearing for those wishing to speak. Please clearly state your name and address for the record. Has anyone signed up to speak? Come on up, Carol.
Part of what I have are some maps of that area, just so it will. Thank you. Easier to understand or referencing. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No problem.
So my comments may not, I'm Carol Kopetsky. I live at 315 Curry Street. My husband Bob is also here with me this evening. My comments may not be completely applicable to just this part of combining, because we are not opposed to a single family home coming in there at all. Our concern is with the duplex. We have resided at this house. I actually came home as a baby there. I am the fourth generation of our family to live there. We raised our children there. And now the sixth generation, our grandchildren, are also enjoying the house. So my great grandfather Cobb built the house. Beeries have been in the area just as long as we have. We're in the original town of Wiggins, and I know we love this town and we love the area. We're concerned about some of the issues that have come up with current duplexes that are in that area. So I want to talk about that a little bit and get that out there so there are no surprises for anyone at the next meetings. So I'm here, Bob and I are here to ask one thing of the council tonight, that you help preserve our property value by not allowing any additional duplexes to come into this area of town. This is zoned for single family housing. Please know that none of my concerns are personal toward the existing property owner. We did meet him a while back. Very nice people. They seemed awesome. We would love for them to have a single family home back there by us. A little history on what's happened in that area. In 1997, Gene and Cheryl Walter purchased the lots behind us. We actually, on your map, we have the property that's kind of in the red square, and it's kind of a yellow outline is the property owner that's presenting this application. And the lots to the south of that are where two existing duplexes currently reside. So those are the ones that Gene and Cheryl put in place. They talked to Bob and I prior to putting those in. And Cheryl said, I know you probably have concerns about multifamily units coming in. We will ensure they are kept up. You'll have good renters behind you. And actually things were great when they had them. And the only problem we really had was our backyard is very close to the back units. And we'd come home and the neighbors' kids would be jumping on our trampoline and stuff, but our kids would just go play with them and it wasn't really that big a deal. After the units sold, things have really started to deteriorate. It seems like every owner of those units has promised they're going to fix them up, they're going to be better, and they probably exteriorly, I feel they are in the worst condition that they've ever been in at this point. We've just noticed, like, the current owner right now lives in Evergreen. They're not members of our community. There are renters there. I don't even know. I know of one family. The other ones are kind of rented by businesses in the area, some of the cattle operations, and their workers are just there to sleep and they're gone. They're not there taking care of the yards. It's not like a family environment in that back area anymore. What we noticed is an increase. We have increase in noise, increase in traffic, increase of vehicles back there, increase of animals. It's just become harder and harder to deal with. And I have been told that the existing applicant has a great plan to what to put in. I don't think they would have any problem probably maintaining it. My concern is in time, it too will sell. We're going to be there. Our families have been there. We were just talking about our kids, our grandkids are going to be in those houses that we're in now. So I'm here right now trying to fight for my kids and my grandkids and the property value that they're going to be having and the other problems that we've been dealing with over time. The other thing that we keep having to come to the meetings for, the last few times those existing units have sold, the new owner, for some reason, has the idea that they can convert those duplexes into quads. So they want to put 4 families in each building. So right now we have behind our garage and our house, we have 4 families. That would put 8 families back there and then another 2 in this duplex. It just becomes too much. I personally feel that with the development that's happened in Wiggins, there are plenty of multifamily zoned areas out in Kiowa Park. Thomas's have some planned. I would just really appreciate that the rest of this area is kept as single family housing. I feel like it really is a detriment to everybody that's a single family homeowner in the area that we live in. Like I said, we love this town. We've been involved in our community. We've been here for a lot of years and we're going to be here until the day we die. I'm sure of that. We would love nothing more than for you to just support single family housing. And like I said, the applicant seemed very nice when we met them, and we would love to have them as neighbors, but in a single family dwelling. So I think that's all I wanted to kind of put out there, that I have visited with several neighbors who are concerned about another multifamily housing unit coming in. And we will be back. We'll be back to keep talking about this and trying to help preserve what we have. Our families put a lot of time and effort into what we own. And I just want to try to preserve that for future generations for our families as well. So that's all I really had tonight.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, anybody else? Anybody on the? Okay. Hear what you have to say. Appreciate it. I think right now, tonight, it's just about if adding his lots together, which I don't see a problem with him doing that. Understand with him having 4 and it required anything 3 and over. What, 3 and over, 4 and over?
Say again,
Yeah, 3 and over has to be brought before us to combine them.
as far, yeah,
For lots.
if the lots are more than 3 lots, then it has to be reviewed by the commissioners. It has to be
Yeah.
considered a minor subdivide or major,
Yeah.
depending on if it's over 3 or over 6.
So with that being said, I think if it comes down to a duplex, and it's going to come before us again, and then we can rehash that then, and I will remember exactly what it is you guys said. So when that time comes. So that's what I have to say.
I understand the concern. I really do.
Thank you.
I really do, because of change in ownerships.
Mhm.
I'm always concerned about that. It happens all the time.
More and more.
Right back in the same spot.
Yeah, we knew Cheryl and June would take care of stuff, and they really did, and it just got me worse.
Especially if the property's not kept up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do have a few pictures I could.
Bring 'em up.
These this morning, and this is kind of the stuff we deal with right now, and there's weeds all over behind us, trash. A car that I don't know if it even moves. I mean, we don't want more of this to kind of transpire behind us, is all I'm trying to. And I totally trust what people now are doing, and that they would probably do a great job, but I know what'll happen. It's happened. Right. Yeah. We were promised the same thing.
Thank you. I think this would be a good picture to give to our law enforcement, since this is an outdated license
Is the
plate,
car still there? How recent are the pictures?
because we knew how.
I've had several, but historically, just when there's a lot of vehicles, because when we came before, I was like, if you imagine making those quads, we already have sometimes 5 vehicles at one unit. So you multiply that by 8, and 40 cars potentially that can be parked around in that area. It's just gonna be a lot.
I think in order for them to make them quads, they'd have to bring that before.
Every time they try to change it every time it changes.
So,
couple cars.
Yeah, yeah. To me, there's not enough. I remember those. I helped plumb them. So there's not enough room for, in my opinion, for 8 families.
It's tight right now.
But I want to take them that we did redo our ordinances, and
It was just recently brought to my attention in regards to the quad issue, and I haven't brought it up to the town manager yet to find out what direction we can take with it. So
but with our weeds and nuisance and all that
that we
ordinances,
can, yes.
we need to be.
On that west side, it was almost clear to the rain gutter. And all that stuff, packing it down the other day a little bit, so we could get by to get the trash out.
I know it's not for this committee, but for the board, it's definitely a priority for the board to get some areas cleaned up.
Do you have the address for this?
I do.
Those duplexes right behind us.
Three.
On Johnson Street.
Yeah, basically 320 and 322 Johnson.
Get that handled.
Even the lots that they're gonna put them on. I think they're gonna load them twice.
I would mow them occasionally and then set a tractor on us, we drag our lot. And just put the tractor out there.
All right. Okay, I'll bring that to the next meeting as well. So there's no more public comment. I will now close the public comment portion of the hearing. No applicants. So before we turn to commissioner questions and deliberation, I want to state that the documents included within the record for this public hearing include all application materials submitted by the applicant, all materials included in the planning commission packets, any PowerPoint or other presentations given tonight, all written referral and public comments received regarding the application, the public comment sign-up sheet, the public posting log, and the town subdivision and zoning ordinances and other applicable regulations. Does anyone have any objection to the inclusion of these items? Okay. I will now close the public hearing. The commissioners will deliberate on the evidence presented. During deliberations, commissioners may ask questions of town staff. But no further public comment or testimony or evidence will be received. Who would like to begin?
The other two lots on there that are north of that, Martinez, is there enough room there for a house eventually or no?
The Martinez lot? I believe it is. I believe there's 3 more lots, either 2 or 3 more lots right there.
This looks narrower than the other one.
It's considering that Vasquez's are 4 lots, I would say that Martinez is probably 3 lots.
I think there were 7 originally or something. Does that sound?
Yeah, if they have.
I used to own that and mow it.
Yeah.
And I sold it, nobody mowed it. So
25 times 3 times. Yeah, if it's 3 lots, Martinez have 8,625 square
Yeah.
foot. So, and including, I'll pick on Ledford's, they have that tiny, tiny little lot, there at the end. Obviously, that's never going to be, big enough to be built on. But if something were to come about, anytime someone has a lot that is in a non-conformed issue, they can request a variance. I'll use the lot that was over by the grocery store as an example. This was probably about 3 or 4 years ago when I first came on. It was my first case, and the lot was short by about 100 square foot. They were able to, eliminate the garage from their building plans and meet all setback requirements, and so they requested a variance, and the board granted it. So it's, in case where a lot is too small, depending on how too small and what they plan on, establishing on the lot, there is a variance that can be requested. Obviously the commissioners and the board of trustees have to take into consideration, like, are they able to meet, the setbacks without requesting a variance on top of that? And what do they intend to put in there? So.
I know the Ledford lot, that's where Dick actually used to live. So long time ago, there was a trailer house sat there. There's a water and sewer tap, gas, electric.
Yeah, so right now, all the utilities run, we were able to verify that all the utilities and the sewer run, through the alley.
Mhm.
So if you look on your plat, we did request that they put a 10-foot easement, utility easement, on there. And that's going to be the start. 305 West 4th Avenue is where the old blue house is, and they're getting ready for demolition, and we requested the same thing on their survey. So we're trying to, the plat for this particular section of town has not been revised since like 1907. That's how old it is. So while we're, improving the land, we're also requesting to make sure that, the plats are, brought into this day and age with, utility easements placed in there as well. So, and so far we haven't run into a barrier with that. Water runs on Johnson. So they would connect to the water main that is on Johnson. Otherwise the plat is pretty simplified.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you have 115 feet deep, but I think in Old Town should be 150 with 10 foot given to the alley.
Can you repeat that, please?
I said on the Old Town, you have 115 on depth, but the old lots are 150. with 10 foot given to the alley.
The 115 number came from Morgan County's records.
Okay,
So
So
I
they'd
would
be-
have to re-verify with.
Yeah, we're
that,
gonna have
but
to-
That's off of the assessor's records.
okay. Yeah, they might have to readjust that one, because I know your guys' lot's the same as the folks's, and mine, they're all 150. With 10 foot given back to the alley.
There is some differences depending on where you're at in town too. Some are 140, some are 150.
I think all the, everywhere up to about, I would say, High Street and then down Second Avenue up to, was that Becky? I
Mhm.
think that's where Becky subdivision, they shortened, like where your house is.
Yeah.
I think that's where they started to shorten them up. All the original part of town was 150s.
So like I said, it
And then-
varies, even
yeah.
in the original part of town, just depends on where you're at.
So. Okay, any other questions? Okay. All right, we have a draft resolution in front of us, and I will entertain a motion.
Basically, this motion would just open up more questions that could be answered.
Yeah, if he can get his, I mean, he's only got 3 lots, he wants to add
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
So he can combine all of his lots into one. And then from there, he can decide, he can bring it before us to decide what he wants to do.
Understood.
And then we can address that issue when it comes. Because as it is right now, he could technically build a house on his 3 lots. He would just have 1 lot sitting by itself. Because 3 lots is enough. 25 by 150 or 140s, enough for him to actually build a house, but he'd have a separate lot that he couldn't do nothing with, without tying them together.
You could.
Yeah.
So, but since they're already at this process, they're basically just requesting to merge all 4 lots.
Yeah, I mean, like, you'd have your 3 to build on, but you'd have 1 that you'd have to bring before us to do anything with.
Well, the other thing is that we can't. Yeah, you could do it that way.
Yeah, It'd make
They'd
more
have
of
to
a-
redo their survey.
yeah, and make it a headache for him if he does want to do a residential single
So-
family.
It also makes it a little easier for the assessors because then it's all one big lot.
Okay.
If they decide to go single family, there wouldn't have to be another hearing, correct? Because it's still single family.
Correct.
It gives him the opportunity to do that without more paperwork or whatever. He wants to do a duplex, you have to come see us and then the board. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 07-2021. Ordering the final plat and planning and zoning resolution.
Second,
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stan Baumgartner,
yes.
Commissioner Jerry Schwind,
Yes.
Chairman Jeff Palmer.
Yes. Resolution number 07-2021 is hereby approved. Okay, next item is the public hearing for resolution number 08-2021, a resolution recommending approval of a special review use for constructing 1 duplex at the vacant lot on Johnson Street owned by Francisco Vasquez. But I'm under the understanding that we have to table
You still have to open the hearing.
this one.
And then I can let you know, I can let the commissioners know as to why we're going for that. And then we'll request a motion to table it.
All right. I will now open the public hearing on the following application. A minor subdivision plat for Francisco Vasquez located on Johnson Street. Purpose of this hearing is to provide a public forum for all interested parties who wish to comment on an application before the commission. Please sign the roster if you wish to speak. If attending via Zoom, you may raise your hand and you'll be granted access. The procedure for the public hearing will be as follows. First, there'll be a presentation by the town staff. Next, we'll have a presentation by the applicant. After this presentation, we allow people who wish to speak for up to 3 minutes each. Please do not repeat points made by others. It is fine to get up and say, I agree with Mr. Smith's comments. Please direct your comments to the planning and zoning commissioners, not the applicant or town staff. After receiving public comments, we will allow the applicant an opportunity to respond. Next, planning commissioners may ask questions of anyone who testified. I will then close the public hearing. No further testimony or other evidence will be received. Planning commission will discuss the matter and may take some kind of action. Public hearings are recorded for the public record. All testimony must be presented. If you give your full name and address. We have proper notification.
Yes.
Okay. Do any planning commissioners have any disclosures? This includes notifications received email, conversation, or post mail.
Yeah, I have property in that area.
Okay, thank you. All right, Hope, please introduce the applicant.
The applicant is again, Mr. Vasquez, and we're requesting, Mr. Chairman and the commissioners, that we table this item. They do not have everything turned in yet that would adequately provide you with enough information to make a decision. We're requesting that we table this particular agenda item to the December meeting, at which time it will just go back onto the agenda. It was already on this agenda, so therefore we have to either table it or not. But it's easier just to table it and then we don't have to repost it.
Okay. All right.
And it does require a motion and a second.
Yes, it does.
I make a motion to table resolution 08-2021 until next December meeting.
Mhm.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to table this public hearing and resolution number 08-2021 till December. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stan Baumgartner,
Yes.
Commissioner Jerry Schwint,
Yes.
Chairman Jeff Palmer.
Yes. All right, resolution tabled to the next meeting. If the one thing I would ask that the applicant that he be here, and you would have been nice to see him tonight,
Okay.
even for just a simple rezoning of his plats and putting them all together.
Okay.
So just let him know that in the chairman's request, it's always good that when you're asking for permission to review something for you, it's best to be standing in front of that commission. And if he
Great.
wants to definitely pass on the next one or have any consideration, he definitely has to be here, in my mind. So that's all I have to say. And with that, time is now 7:34. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.